Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Fnatic versus Euronics is starting up, and we have Towers of Doom as the first map of the series here. A Thrall already banned out, and Towers of Doom, of course, a pretty fun map to start things off with. We see the map a little bit more often in competitive play these days, which is actually very entertaining. Euronics reacting with a ban on Kalthas, and these teams are fast today. Zagara once again is one of the first picks here, and of course, I'm not alone here for the coverage. I have Tetcher with me once again, and we're going to bring you the coverage here for the next series at the Heroes of the Storm Spring Championship Qualifier.
Yes, we are, and Euronics coming up with their first 2 picks here. We're seeing a lot of the same heroes coming in, but this is a bit of a different map. We have, on the odd occasions, you pointed out in the last time we cast, that on the very odd occasion we'll even see a Nova here, and if a team wants to play it, this is going to be one of their last chances before the next patch comes in and does a severe rework to her.
It's definitely true. I mean, a couple of heroes that are really important to get on this map. Zagara, of course, again, we're talking map vision here, we're talking control. Tacita is very similar in the sense that he's, of course, trying to provide the vision for the team. It's not so important to just, like, have necessary, like, wave clear is of course important, but it's a little bit more important on other maps. You cannot go for the core itself. You can of course take control of all the towers and then get an automatic barrage against the opponent, but control over those altars is more important since they really win you the game. And that's also one of the reasons why Falstad is usually highly prioritized on this map as well. Not necessarily as a first pick, but it's very rare that we don't see the hero chosen on this map or banned out, since he can provide you at least with a double or a triple altar event on the map with at least one of those altars captured and then flies into the fight. So that's definitely something that we can see. Having a bit of sustain and also an opportunity to just really fight strong for these fights is very important here. And Euronics, they start things off with a Sonya pick after Thrall was banned out. They want to have a Bruiser type at the front line and are thinking about getting that Tacita now, which can counteract Zagara's creep tumors and also support Sonya, of course, quite nicely.
Yeah, there is actually another hero who probably not going to be picked instead of Tastar here, but might be picked later on, and that is Greymane. He is actually allowed in this particular qualifier, and on this map has been picked a small amount of times in some of the EPL games we see, which are mostly just practice, but also in the Korean scene every now and again. This seems to be the map that he is most popular on.
Yeah, we have again also ETC taken. It's really interesting when you talk to pro players right now, the heroes that they value highly. It's a bit, there's that Falstad that I already mentioned.
Yeah.
Super strong hero here. But an interesting part is that we see mainly Fnatic go for ETC and also Dignitas. And it's really the influence of the Swedish school of Heroes of the Storm, I want to say. We have on Fnatic Breeze, of course, one of the best Swedish players at the tank line, who's going a lot for ETC. And Wooby, another player from Sweden that is currently with Dignitas and does a lot of the drafting for the team and really helps out there. He's also going for ETC. So you can really tell that it's not only the teams that favor certain heroes, but it's really just like the Swedish players in particular that favor ETC over other tanks, whereas, for example, Na'Vi is not really picking him too often, more leaning towards the Diablo and Nuburak and Stitches style. So pretty cool to see that, just like from a regional aspect and also from like a country aspect, from a team aspect. It's pretty awesome to see how the drafting right now works. And I mean, talking draft, we are continuing with the theme here. Uther banned out against ETC, no Divine Shield Mosh Pit, and we have now Diablo banned out by Fnatic. So Euronics can't rely on an Apocalypse during these fights, which could also, of course, then cancel out ETC's heroic ability. There we go.
Yeah, we do see the Tyrande coming in for Euronics, though, denying another healer away from Fnatic, who have yet to pick theirs, and the Reyna coming in. So they could have maybe picked up the Jaina and see if they could get that Muradin, but Fnatic would have been able to take either the Muradin or the Jaina away. Although they would have been going into triple damage dealer if they had taken the Jaina. A little bit interesting that Euronics would pick that in that order. They still need a warrior of their own, and now Fnatic are going to be able to take one away, and it is going to be the Muradin.
I like actually Euronics comp. I still lean a little bit towards Fnatic when it comes to utility currently, but that combo between Tyrande and Tacita is incredibly powerful, and it is going to benefit especially Sonya. Having a Tacita as a support for Sonya with Leeching Plasma on 4 and then Kala's Embrace is very powerful, but if you want to have that sustain, and that's something that you really need for those altars, for the fights over the altars, Tyrande is great, and she also can interrupt the channels. So that really helps you to just prolong fights for as long as you possibly can. And the problem that they really have is, if this is one of their core aspects for the composition, running Tyrande plus Tacita, you don't really have room in the composition for a Jaina. They would have probably really liked to play her for the extra damage, but then again they would miss out on an auto attack damage dealer from the backline, and that's something they needed, since Sonya as the solo frontline is just not really possible. I suppose that Fnatic could have tried to play with a single warrior as well and drop that Jaina on top of it, but I really like that they commit to Muradin too. Now they have a very beefy setup as well, so for them it's also the thought process, have that sustained during the altar fights. They can last for a very long time and try to make sure that you are the one that still has a few heroes standing at the end to channel the altars through and get the shots in against the core.
Euronics finish off their lineup with the Stitches. So they have that Stitches to Randa combo with the Reyna single target focus with the auto attack damage, the Sonya for the follow up as well, and Tassadar for the force wall to prevent any extra escape. So Euronics going very much with that pick style that we see a lot on this map. Hooking people off those altars is a really big deal.
I'm really liking both of these lineups. Fnatic has mobility on the map. They have a lot of tools that they can use to really just zone the opponent out, to get a positioning here as well. Zagara with the vision, Falsa with the movements on the map, the flying against the altars. We have ETC with the threat of a mosh pit, of course, his face melt alone that can push people away. But Euronics at the same time going for a very sustainable double support style with Stitches as the frontliner, who can go, of course, for a very tanky build here, gets those hooks in. And the fights over the altars are usually in areas where you don't see too many minions obstructing hooks. The only thing that we could see is Zagara with a couple of roaches, for example. So overall, both of these comps are actually incredibly nice for a very cool potential game here on Towers of Doom. And we are on the first map of the best of 3 series, so we're going to potentially see 3 games between the two teams. But let's jump straight into the first one to find out which of the two is going to take the lead here in the best of 3 series. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, in the series between Euronics and Fnatic has started. We are once again at the Spring Championship Qualifier, number 2 this time. Fnatic to the left side of Towers of Doom, our first map in the series, with Breeze on ETC. We have Aethera Angel on Muradin. We see Quacknix on Falstad, Shrimpy on Zagara, and Smexy on Karazhan. To the right side of the map, the Polish team with Kreku on Reyna. We have Uberim on Sonya. Euronics is playing with Gluehammer on Stitches, Juf on Tassadar, and Krolu on Tyrande. A great first map to kick things off here, and of course I'm not alone. I'm with Tetcher today, and we're going to bring you the coverage here in game number 1 of the best of 3 series between Euronics and Fnatic.
Well, 2 things to point out for starters. 1, Juf is running the pleb horse, so I am immediately biased. And 2, you actually missed during the intro. Aethera Angel managed to glitch himself into the gate at the start of the game via his Dwarf Jost. It's very interesting, so he actually got a bit of a head start compared to the rest of his team.
Wow, cheats right there. Hacks confirmed. Well, for now we have 1 talent, by the way, not taken, and that is Zagara at the top lane. We saw a very interesting Zagara build already a bit earlier, focusing on Demolitionist. I would highly advise to not take the talent here, considering that you can't even push for core. You can only take control over the altars, which over the towers, which of course in itself is already great. But for the teams, it's going to be way more important to really have vision on the map and have the sustain so that they can fight for the altars themselves and get those shots in. So that's going to be an important part of the setup.
Yeah, so for now, having a look at some of the other talents other than Zagara's, we do see the Seasoned Marksman on both of the ranged assassins here, that Reyna and the Falstad. Smexy is spotted by Gluehammer, but there's not too much damage. Tassadar, not the hero you expect to see getting taken down early, is annihilated in the bot lane by Aethera Angel and Quacknix.
Yeah, definitely not the hero, as you already said, that you think would die early on, thanks to his shift, of course. So that's a bit of a surprise there. Got apparently locked down and was just moving out of his shift, activating it maybe a bit too early. For now, Gluehammer, Uberim, and Krolu are already in the mid lane. We have Smexy and Breeze soaking some experience. And Breeze has already a very twitchy finger here. Is trying to make sure that he does not miss an opportunity to slide in and maybe provide a kill or at least some damage. Oops, very interesting glitch here with the observing. Sorry for that. Must have hit the minimap. Altars are spawning, the first one at the bot lane as usual. So for now, let's see which team is going to take that lead here. We have 2 heroes with Seasoned Marksman, 1 on each side, and a lead in EXP already on the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, with that kill, they were able to get themselves a pretty big head start, but Euronics not going to go down without a fight. They're just roaming between the maps, looking for their potential picks, getting ready to try and get that burst. And they're already in a bit of a better position for the first altar, but Fnatic rotating as a big group very quickly, and they do get control. However, backing up, Smexy not ready to fight just yet. And look at that, Falstad moving up to the mid lane to soak some XP, and then he'll be able to fly down. He knows his team can delay basically forever with this.
Yeah, they are doing a very decent job with that, and Falstad, of course, is threatening to get a massive experience lead for Fnatic now, and that is something that definitely puts pressure on Euronics. They see that on the map, they know what's going on, and they also realize that it's not going to be easy for them to really get that channel through with everybody just waiting here, especially Zagara with a roach drop that she can always push in. So Falstad with a very smart move here can fly down when really needed, and even if eventually they have to give the ult up, it's not going to be too much of a problem this early in the game as long as Falstad gets the lead for them in experience.
Yeah, Falstad's not even attacking the minion wave. He's literally just standing next to it, staying hidden. So the enemy team, as far as they know, he's just set up for a gank here. They don't know how long it's going to take him to get down. He could be in top lane. He could be in bot lane waiting for a trap. So they have no idea. However, Fnatic starting to take a little bit of damage here, so they're being pushed back. We may see Falstad either coming in to help or staying, pushing aggressively. He's going to start pushing the lane. Gluehammer caught out of position, though, gets stunned up. But no, it's going to be Smexy, who is the first blood.
Yeah, first blood against Fnatic here. Euronics is now going for that channel, but there's still one roach around. They're zoning them out. Falstad is still staying on lane, so they go to the top lane to soak even more experience right now. The altar has been channeled though, and thanks to the kill against Karazim, they're not really too far ahead in experience. I've seen this a couple of times now, and I'm always wondering if it's really worth it, to be honest with you. If you look at the experience right now, they don't quite have an entire level. A lot of these waves are still going to be soaked, and it normally doesn't really end up in a talent lead that helps you with one of these altars. And even if it does, the only thing that you end up with is being on even hit points on the core. So Fnatic here dedicating that time to get that lead, but Reyna taken down now as well. Apparently, I don't even know where, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that was just Quacklips, I guess. You saw him roaming between them, was able to finish him off. Very well played there. And that is level 7 advantage going over to Fnatic, but it's not too far away for Euronics, so they're going to be able to catch that up quite quickly. We see fairly standard talents that just keep rocking on the ETC, piercing bolt, secret weapon, very standard stuff from everyone here.
Yeah, so far well played. Fnatic still with that slight lead, but now the level 7 talent is also going to get ready for the opponent's team. Stitches with a Hungry for More into Amplified Healing, into now also Savor the Flavor, a talent that we have seen a couple of times already, not going into the last bite here. Savor the Flavor, allowing him to get even more hit point regeneration. It's an interesting talent to take, actually, considering that they are currently running this with already 2 healers. He should never die. 5 minutes in, we now have the boss appearing on the map as well. Pretty hard-hitting boss at that, and still the soak on all of the lanes with now another altar announced on the map.
Yeah, the Owl will have spotted the members of Fnatic here. Falstad just getting missed by the Serrano stuff, able to get out of there, but with Raider from behind, having to reposition. Breeze zoning him out though. That healing ward, well positioned by Fnatic here. It's going to allow everyone to sustain through this and back up to a much safer position.
Yeah, we have Zagara currently at the altar. Not going to go for a channel yet because it's not ready yet. The rest of the team is rotating in too. Still nearly a level lead for Fnatic that they're running here. But it's a bit of an issue. Where's that Owl with the Pierce? Apparently off cooldown. There it is, but it's too late. And that's the channel. Fnatic gets the shots in against the core. So 4 points dropping of the core of Euronics. And that puts them on exactly even hit points.
Yeah, but it does seem to be snowballing a little bit for Fnatic. They are making the most of the advantage they got from the lane soak. Quacklips needs to get out of there, though, as he is being ganked by 3 people, and he does survive.
Yeah, not even getting hit by that stun, so dodges everything, hook plus stun. And now we have at the bot lane a very similar picture as Kreko is suddenly getting pressured. Theor Angel even jumping over the wall here. But now both of the towers are down. It's a lot of experience for Fnatic, and they will hit level 10 very soon. They're really running with that kill advantage now as well. Mighty Gust has been used. We're seeing them with the Divine Palm, Avatar, ETC, very likely to go more spit, but we have also seen Stage Dive now. In this case, though, it makes perfect sense for him to go for the standard ult on the hero, and of course that Morph for Zagara, a no-brainer here for their Zagara player, for Shrimpy at the bot lane. Nearly dropping also that tower in the bottom of the map.
Yeah, that is prepared though, so Shrimpy can just roll in and finish that off with a good rotation of abilities, and that can be timed very well with a altar spawning, and that way it will still be spawning and will still fire the shot, as opposed to Euronics being able to rotate down before the altar finishes spawning to kill it off and retake control. So it's actually a very interesting move to leave it alive for that little bit longer.
I'm liking it a lot, actually. You oftentimes see that in the end, like in the later stages of the game, the teams are just rotating from one tower to another, and that can create a lot of pressure. But this early in the game, you're not really able to make that happen. So having an opportunity to, after a team fight, rotate down and take it, that kind of makes sense. The experience that you can drop here is, of course, nice as well. and Shrimpy can at any point drop it if he really wants to, and now that the altar is announced, that's exactly what he's currently doing. Dropping the roaches here, could move in for even more damage. They go for Kreku as well, and that's like a perfect execution. They drop the tower, they kill the hero, it's a 5 versus 4, it's a double altar on the map, and that with a tower advantage, that is going to be a great situation for Fnatic now. Very well played. Like, that was perfect from a strategical point of view.
Yeah, there is no way that Euronics are going to be able to take that back before Fnatic can get the shot, so all they can really do is to fight for these altars, and they're down a person. So this is really a lose-lose situation. Falstad has already got the shots from bot lane. Euronics desperately trying to push into mid lane, but Spexy will get those as well, so that's just extra shots from Fnatic's point. Like you said, everything completely perfect strategically.
And we have, of course, now Euronics trying to make up for that by moving down to the bot lane, taking that tower again. But if you look at the core damage, it's 36 hit points against 26. And now we have that moment when Fnatic just says, okay, you take the bottom tower, that's fine with us. We're going to move into the middle, going to drop this one as well. That is going to give us even more experience. We're going to be in a great spot. Breeze with nice zoning here for the team. Moved in, made sure that he was in a position where he could zone for the rest of his team, protect the backline. Falstad right away with the Mighty Gust as needed, and they just move back up to the top. A very smart move from Fnatic, very controlled, and now of course they took another tower in the middle of the map, which gives them again the lead.
Yeah, Fnatic are looking outstanding today, already in great control. They hit their level 13s. We are seeing Giant Killer on the Falstad, the Mutalist, Relentless, the Thunder Strike, and the Groupies once again fairly standard on everything. They're going to be able to take down the boss. Uberim is on the way. In fact, everyone's on the way. This could be risky, but the spear misses. And the boss goes over to Fnatic. Mighty Gust for the disengage, and they get out completely safely. Again, that's more shots onto the core of Euronics. And Euronics really on the back foot now. They're going to try to clear out that mid fort again, but Fnatic, they're reacting. They're just going to go bot and take that again.
I'm absolutely loving the way that they're currently playing this. They're playing just a very smart game. It's not controlling the team fights themselves that really puts them so far ahead right now. It's the movements on the map. Always pushing Euronics into a situation where they have to do something. Take the tower back at the bottom of the map. They move into the middle, take this one. Euronics moves into the middle, try to take that. Fnatic realizes they have an extra talent, they have time, so they go to the boss, snipe that away. Always moving back, always disengaging with the help of ETC and Falstad with the Mighty Gust. And that brings them now in a situation where they are on 36 versus 22 hit points on the core, and a double altar spawning again. And Fnatic can just like go for one or even both of them after they took these camps on the map. So very smart moves on their part, and not even a level 13 talent ready yet for the Polish team.
Yeah, Fnatic will not be able to grab a fort this time, so they won't get the extra shots. But the fact is, like you said, there is a mercenary. Nice denial there by Tyrande with that owl. Fnatic will probably be able to get at both altars from their Stitch is well positioned here, but the Mutalisk has full vision of him.
And again, the shots against the core, that's 4 more that they're just able to hit. And it shows again why Falstad is so amazing on this map. Good Mighty Gust, again the attempt to zone that out and go straight for a potential core or for an altar drop. Gluehammer, low, more used, and yes, they get the next set of shots. At the same time, the fight is still raging on here. 3 kills against 1. Stitches, very low, trying to escape here. They have the level 13 talents, but they don't have the power yet to really turn this around and win this engagement. 36 against 14 core points. Fnatic just with extremely smart play, and especially Falstad making a lot of trouble here for Euronics.
Yeah, and Fnatic just aren't needing to fight. Every time Euronics are like, yeah, roll in, we're going to wait for that mosh and cancel it, or they're getting into a situation where they could be moshed themselves, but Fnatic, they don't need to. They don't need to fight because they're just winning via objectives. They already have a full level lead again. Euronics finally looks like they're going to attempt to steal a camp. No, they can't risk it because the Zagara creep already spotted them.
Athera Angel with very nice positioning here for experienced Soak. They didn't really know where exactly Euronics was positioned, so they played extremely safe. And their movements on the map are just absolutely exceptional. They're just like dodging around Euronics, and Euronics, they might feel kind of helpless here. They're always in the spot where they are feeling very frustrated since they can't engage into any kind of battle. They can't really do a whole lot, but they always have to react what's going on. Finally, they are the ones to initiate an attack at the bot lane, and they are starting to take structures, which is going to help them to close this gap in experience and maybe close up to Fnatic. But Quacknix already delaying them even further, and the counter pressure at the top lane is starting as Shrimpy and Athera Angel are just going to go for a tower grab on their own.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get this, but also the fort in the bottom lane super low. We're now seeing Breeze move into the bot lane to go for a fight. They're going to try and take down Krodu, and Krodu does go down, and they're able to disengage anyway, so they're completely fine. They've taken the fort in the top lane. The one in the bot lane is very, very low. They can move in to take that, and then they'll get an extra 2 shots onto the core here.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, right now, again, 5 towers versus 3. It's a 3 versus 4 they just fought at the bot lane without even a talent advantage. That came a bit later, and they still secured that kill against Ronda. Now another tower has been eliminated, and that's 6 towers against 2 with 2 altars ready. This could nearly be game. If they get both of those now and the camp here, that would be GG.
This move. Falstad flying up to the top lane because that's where Euronics are trying to fight to stop at least any shots, but Falstad's just going to stop them taking the fort, so the maximum amount of shots will come out of Fnatic here. Zuf desperately trying to deny this mid-turn-in, but there's the first set going in here. Quacknix can even Mighty Gust this to prevent it from being taken, and it will be 1 away from GG, I think, with this. 2 away. Oh, they're so close. They finally take back that top 4, but Falstad was able to delay that just long enough to get those extra shots.
Yeah, and right now, if they make those few camp minions here move through the bot lane, then it's over. If they move in, then it's GG. They would go straight for the core damage. But oh, they move into the middle, so they have to protect the middle now. And if they do that, then it's GG. They just have to protect these, and once those minions are gone, the mercenaries are going to attack the core, and that's it then. They try to go for Zagara, snipe attempt, Mighty Gust, and it is...
The more they're pushing through, the storm damages them. They can let at least 1 die, but they're pushing through. In comes the Hyperion, doing a lot of damage. The Bile also being used. They're focusing them down, and they will kill off the Sappers. And Euronics save their game temporarily, but guess what's just spawned? That's right, it's the boss.
Yeah, boss has spawned, and we have at least even talent, so it's now Fishing Hook on level 16, Bullseye, Imposing Presence, we have Prescience, Interdimensional Warp, and Overflowing Light into Ranger. But Fnatic, of course, they just take minions on the map. They have a massive, massive lead. All they need is a boss or 1 more tower, and this is game. And they know it as well, of course. A great game played so far by them, and Euronics already double-checking the boss. They know fully well what's at stake here. The first game, Fnatic with incredible play here, and Euronics is struggling so much. They're really trying to hold on to this. 1 altar at the bot lane. That's at least the best-case scenario for them, but they still have to pay attention to the boss as well.
Yeah, Fnatic hovering around the boss area just in case they can. They're Quacknix hovering around the altar. The rest of Fnatic hovering around the boss. They are missing most of their heroics, but they're gonna try it. They're just gonna try it and do a split here. Tassadar realizes it's being done. Look, everyone reacts except for Stitch, who's going down to try and stop the altar being taken. But they have to do something. Quacknix trying to stay hidden to try and bait Gluehammer into believing no one's here, but he has to stay. Boss getting leashed, but Fnatic are not going to give it up. They're going to have heroics very soon. Quacknix pressuring the bot area to make sure Gluehammer either dies or has to defend the boss, dropping very low. We're actually seeing Breeze getting taken down. The palm keeps him alive. The boss getting killed off. They're trying to raid it. And the boss is down.
They take it! They put it into a 4 versus 5. Stitches is still on the run, but this is game. Great move by Fnatic. Such smart play by the team. And they get the 1-0 lead in this best of 3 series at the Spring Championship Qualifier against Euronics. Alright everybody, we're gonna go straight into the next draft. We actually have Fnatic versus Euronics, game number 2. The teams are like super fast today with the drafting. I like it a lot. We have Cursed Hollow as the second map. Fnatic currently in the 1-0 lead against Euronics here, the Spring Championship Qualifier number 2. Thrall banned out by Euronics, and Fnatic going for an immediate ban on Diablo, a hero that of course can combo very nicely with, for example, Zagara, with also Thrall, who got banned. Euronics takes the opportunity to head straight into Kalthas, and we didn't actually see Cursed Hollow in quite some time. And we're gonna find out now together if Fnatic can go for a 2-0 victory after they played a very, very smart game and a great style here on Towers of Doom against Euronics already in game number 1.
Yeah, and Fnatic going to start off with what looks like going to be the Zagara. We've seen her very early picked pretty much every game. People really realizing just the huge value of that Moira and just the incredible lane control that having Zagara offers, especially when Thrall is banned out. So Zagara, there's very few heroes that can lane solo against her now.
Yeah, well, and with Kel'Thas already taken, Zagara also claimed, you can of course attempt to combo a couple of heroes off with Zagara herself. There's still a couple of options of how you can play that right now. Again, Fnatic seems to like to go into ETC. It's one of their favorite heroes. We've been talking about this already in the draft for the first game. We could have seen them go into that false step that Euronics locks down now. There could have been the attempt to go into a Sonya, for example, too, since Thrall is banned out. Then you have another Bruiser type warrior that you can set up at the front line. But on Cursed Hollow, heroes that we still see a lot are, of course, false that could see a Jaina here on the side of Fnatic as well, which is probably one of the heroes that they thought about before picking ETC, since with Jaina they would have all the damage that they need to combo off a Maw, combo off a Mosh Pit. Euronics in this setup now has the opportunity to pick Jaina away or ban her out. I don't really feel that they're going to pick Jaina. It doesn't make too much sense with Kel'Thas already locked down in Falstad. But Euronics at least has a few options to deny Fnatic, maybe that Divine Shield on Uther or that Jaina damage for the follow-up.
Yeah, they have to make up their decision on which one they want to ban. Or, like you said, they could pick up the Uther themselves just to deny it and then ban out the Jaina. That would get rid of both of those options for Fnatic. And the Uther still very powerful. Just get the cleanse to help people get out them more if they react quickly. And, of course, the wonderful Divine Shield to protect anyone. But they go with the Tassadar first, just as that counter to Zagara.
Vision on the map, good shields, that really helps. We could see them again with an opportunity, or a bit to jump into maybe Tyrande even as an addition to Tassadar. She's extremely powerful on the map, of course, thanks to Pierce, which can interrupt channels on tributes, which is always great, and the vision on both of those bosses is very important. Fnatic, first of all, they ban out Muradin. It's actually like an interesting ban to go for him in this setup, since we don't have a Tyrande yet. Maybe they expect that a Tyrande could be picked as the additional healer for Euronics here, unless they themselves want to go for it. But banning Muradin, I don't think I have seen a Muradin ban since we saw the changes to his avatar form. He's of course still the tank that is the most tricky to take down thanks to his escape and his high hit point pool on avatar, especially after level 16 talent Stone form. But it's one of those heavy frontliners, and Fnatic so far seems to really try and limit the pool of heroes that Euronics could pick for their frontline. And we of course expect them to go maybe even for that Stitches with their next pick now.
Yep, and this is the fact you were talking about there, him having his Sun removed, is likely why Fnatic took so long to 100% decide on that Muradin as the ban. Just making sure, like, do we really want to ban this? He has been changed. Is there someone else we want to prioritize? But, like you said, they're going to limit that warrior choice. Euronics, though, they're going to get rid of a bit more of that stun combo, or at least think about it in the form of that Tyrande.
Tyrande or Jaina should be their ban. Jaina would be the damage as a follow-up. Tyrande together with a potential Stitches pick, and Fnatic is already kind of suggesting that that is one of the options that they are considering at least now. Would be too great. If you have ETC, Tyrande, Stitches, and Zagara, you just need a bit of follow-up damage at the end, and that could be anything ranging from a Vala to a Jaina to also, of course, then a Reyna, depending on what Euronics picks away. And there is already that Stitches as expected. So the ban for Euronics makes sense. I expect Jaina to be taken. Now, well, actually they don't have to pick her now. Sorry?
Euronics not going to steal it, so
yeah,
they could just pick their support, which I would guess maybe a Kharazim.
Kharazim would be nice, yeah. That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, they can actually pick the support, Jaina last, since if Euronics would go for Jaina, they would have an incredible squishy backline. And against Stitches, you don't really want to have that. So yeah, Kharazim as the first pick would make sense to get that 7-sided strike in after Stitches hits the hook.
Yeah, and then they can put their last pick in as the Jaina, like you said, or maybe even the Reyna if they want that auto attack damage to combo. Just off the get that single target in. Euronics, they now need some frontliners. Fnatic stealing away that Stitches. They already have the ETC, and with both Diablo and Muradin banned out, Fnatic have done a very good job of really limiting Euronics options here. However, we do still have some fairly solid heroes. We have the Leoric, which we've seen a lot. Johanna. We even have the Tyrael. Many options for Euronics here.
Tyrael would be nice as well here. Johanna and Leoric would be very, very good options. The Tyrael in level 16, of course, with the option to go into Holy Ground after level 16 talent would be nice as well. Have a couple of solid options here. He would help with shields in addition to what Tassadar brings to the table too. But if they go for Leoric plus Tyrael, it would eliminate like one of those like difficult to kill heroes at the front line. Like Johanna is much more tanky than Tyrael is. So it's a bit of a style choice here, of course. For Fnatic, then, they can decide if they want to have a hero with a Giant Killer on level 13 and more auto-attack damage against the front line, or if they're going to try and get good hooks against the back line and then have that burst damage that Jaina brings to the table. You can play with both here. depending on how you want to run it and how you feel that you're going to get your damage in. But first of all, we need to see what Euronics is going to pick as a second frontliner, since I highly doubt that they are running Leoric as the only tank in the game.
Yeah, but I definitely do. Looks like they're thinking about it, though. Go with Sonya. Sonya, not really a main tank, but she does have a lot of survivability in fights, especially with the help of a Tassadar. So that is what they're going for. They are relying on Leoric as the only tank in the game, but they do have Sonya as a bit of a bruiser, just to absorb at least a little damage, especially when she gets that Nerves of Steel and the Ignore Pain.
Yeah, and with that now taken, I could actually see Fnatic. I mean, again, we already mentioned about what they could go for as a choice for damage, but I could actually see them go away from Jaina in this setup now and head into maybe a Reyna or even a Vala instead. Heroes that would help them, that Slow and Vala can of course also be extremely nice for a lot of these fights.
Don't break my heart, Fnatic. Don't do this to me.
They are teasing again.
They are teasing us.
Come
it's
on.
not a terrible idea. You get
No,
AoE damage for the mosh pit. Oh,
I hate you.
Fnatic, why?
I saw Murky played yesterday. We saw Murky yesterday by Team Liquid, by the way. And yeah, there we go again.
It's not a terrible idea. Like,
oh yes! Yes! Greymane is being played. Awesome. So we are actually seeing Greymane in play. Fnatic, they go for it. They need a bit of range damage. They decide that they want to have Greymane. A great finisher, of course, also with Walk in form. And after we've seen already a Towers of Doom game, we are going to see Cursed Hollow with finally Greymane in the competitive scene in a high-class game. Guys, get ready for this one because this is going to be good. Get yourself some popcorn and we're going to jump into game number 2 between Fnatic and Euronics here at the Spring Championship Qualifier. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the second game has started, and as you can see, we currently have a pretty nice setup, especially on the side of Fnatic, who are currently running with good old Greymane here for the first time at least on the stream here. We have Breeze on ETC for Fnatic, Smexy on Karazim, Quacknix is playing Greymane, Aethera Angel is playing Stitches, and we have Schwimpy on Zagara. To the right side of the map, it is at this point Euronics, the Polish team, down in the best of 3 series after the loss on Towers of Doom against Fnatic. We have Kreku on Falstad, we have Krolo as the support for the team on Tassadar, Gluehammer on Leoric, Juf on Kalthas, and Uberim is playing Sonya. Great game to see Greymane in action on level 1. He went for the perfect aim here immediately for the mana refund. So yeah, this is going to be quite fun to see how much he can actually contribute now to this game on Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting to see the mana reduction on the Alien Cocktail due to the fact that a lot of people seem to prefer picking the Wolf Heart to keep your inner beast up so that, in the late game so that you can get more combo off with the level 16 talent, or the Viciousness so that you at least reset the cooldown. Just keep the combo up on your inner beast with your abilities being cast like the Gilnean Cocktail, but taking the mana reduction, Greymane does suffer a little bit from mana issues.
Having that cooldown reduction is definitely something that we've seen from most of the players that experimented with Greymane so far, but Fnatic here running the perfect aim instead, and I'm super excited to see how exactly it is going to be played in this game right now. We also have a few more talent that got adjusted on level 1. Besides that, we see again the power against the structures here. Keep in mind that Blizzard is currently testing a new patch also on the Test Realm, where they have an increased damage against heroes dished out from the towers, which should help with these early tower snipes that we see oftentimes now in the current meta. But talking talents, we have the extra damage taken on Stitches over the potential Hungry for More. So we have actually Heavy Slam taken so that Aethera Angel can help out with the siege damage and the extra damage against heroes during the team fights.
Yeah, this is very cool. They're setting up for a lot of hero damage and a lot of AoE hero damage, so they didn't take the Jaina. But now they have single target damage in the form of that Greymane and Karazim likely taking the 7-sided strike. And when the mosh pit happens, they have the slam from Stitches and the Gilnean Cocktail from Quacknix on that Greymane. So a very interesting combo.
Yeah, Quacknix already showing off here a little bit, jumping into Warring form right away. I can't wait to see all of that happening during the fights. It's actually cool to see Greymane finally here. We have seen him in the North American scene already, but not in Europe just yet. Here come the level 4 talents, and as already expected, well, Breeze first of all has to be careful here. They're jumping in with Greymane now as well. Gluehammer is a little bit low, but Karazim is sniped and Smexy goes down. Good kill here for Euronics. Level 4, we see Putrid Ground for Stitches for the extra damage, and as expected, the draw overflow with the increased explosion length, which is going to help you a lot with that cocktail on Greymane to get even more siege damage in, and even finish heroes off that are trying to get away.
Yeah, that level 16, you do a lot of damage with that ability, so the extra radius, you can hit everyone in a team fight when you get to it. It is a very scary ability to go up against. And meanwhile, on the other side, we see Leoric not taking that fealty onto death, instead going with the hardened bones. Everyone else sticking fairly standard. We have that leeching plasma on the Tassadar and the focus attacks from the Sonya.
Yeah, focus attacks for Sonya, of course, giving her a bit more auto attack power here now too, and she's one of the heroes that they will have to rely on heavily during these fights. One of these fights is currently starting to happen at the bot lane, where we have the announced, oh, nice hook against Sonya. Not enough follow-up damage just yet, but they went for it. Ethereal Angel now is a bit body blocked, uses his Devour to get away, might not survive here, but great healing ward from Smexy is keeping Ethereal Angel alive. Nice move on his part, and the tribute is still there up for grabs.
Yeah, Quacknix did a huge amount of damage to Leoric there, forcing him to back away from the fight. In the meantime, Zagara is wrecking the fort up in the top lane. Bluehammer going aggressively forward, trying to zone out Fnatic so that they can't steal away this tribute. Trying their best. There's the hook onto Cluehammer, though he gets stunned up before he can even Wraith Walk and gets taken out. Nice kill by Fnatic.
Yeah, really nice kill, and it also makes sure that Kireku can't channel through that tribute. So the first one seems to be ending up in the hands of Fnatic, and Fnatic has the level 7 talent that's going to make things even easier, with now also the additional 200 damage and the extra explode. So that's actually pretty cool to see. It's also one of the talents that is, of course, extremely common for Greymane. You have that poke in human form, which is absolutely incredible right now. And then later on, you can start to focus a bit on your walk in form talents. Still that fight at the bot lane. And during all of this, Zagara has been pushing the top lane heavily and managed to take down the fort.
Yeah, and that has given a big XP advantage over to Fnatic, not to mention the fact they've managed to kill Leo twice in this fight alone. They're really helping out here. Kireku getting focused, he gets annihilated by Quacknix and Breeze there. And now finally, Fnatic will take the tribute just before Cluehammer is able to respawn, but he is getting right out of there.
And Quacknix, of course, super aggressive here the entire time, jumping into Worgen form, getting those final hits in if somebody's trying to get away. Always poking with a cocktail. Very mobile here on his heroes. One of the problems that, of course, the hero has is that he's still a bit squishy. If you get locked down and focused, you die very fast, but Quacknix has great positioning here. He's been showcasing that throughout the entire fight that we've seen. An interesting choice is also that we have, in the case of Zagara, no level 7 talent yet. So Shrimpy making a deliberate choice to wait a little bit longer to find out which talent he really needs. Is he going to go for the rapid incubation? Are we going to see the endless creep? Battle momentum is an option there as well. So there's a lot of choice that he could go for, but he's still waiting, not quite sure which talent he wants to use.
Yeah, and we are seeing the other issue that Greymane is having here. Even with that level 1 talent, he is suffering from big mana issues and still has to port back a lot more than quite a few other heroes do. But he's still doing a pretty good job in this game. He's been keeping enough mana in the team fights to at least make it work.
Mid lane is now pressured, and Fnatic, thanks to, of course, the top lane pressure and those skills that they have, 3 against 1, nearly on level 10 by now. Great situation for them to be in. Shrimpy, on the other hand, needs to be careful, drops the Hydra, Uberim hits the spear, does not go for the hero, and with a level 10 now once again down to the bot lane, we're seeing a little bit of aggression against Gluehammer, who's moving away with a Wraith Walk on his Leoric, but there comes Smexy, Greymane about to jump into the kill against Leoric, and they are going to secure themselves tribute number 2.
And Fnatic looking really solid in this lane, despite giving away first blood. They are still in control. They're able to grab both tributes so far. They have their level 10s, and not even halfway through level 9 right now for Euronics. They're really struggling to bring their comeback into this. We didn't actually go over which level 10s we did have. We do have the go for the throat on the Greymane, which is the one we need to point out the most. Not going for that mark for the kill. We don't see that very often because not many people like the idea of having basically Tyrannus trait as a heroic.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't think I've ever seen that in any of the games that I've seen so far from the pro level on in Hero League or Team League. So, or even scrims. So right now we have Mosh Pit taken besides the Divine Palm, Putrid Ground and more. And finally also level 10 now for Euronics, and that allows them to go into the Mighty Gust. We have Wrath of the Berserker, Leoric with the Entomb here for the lockdown. And besides that, it is Tassadar again with the Force Wall, and Phoenix, of course, for Kel'Thas. Tribute number 3 at the top. They could start to channel that soon enough, but already a capture against Breeze. Oh, Quacknix in so much trouble now. Entombed! Divine Palm is saving him for now, and Quacknix can just barely get out of this. Great reaction by Smexy.
Yeah, he is doing such a good job here. And before that fight happened, I would like to point out that Quacknix actually has 10k more damage than anyone else. Should be getting focused by Uberim. He's backing up. The Maul will save him here. The Mosh Pit in the back line presenting Jules for doing any more damage. And Fnatic able to keep everyone alive. They go for Tasta and they get the kill here. And that will delay this tribute from being taken. They're trying to raid in here. Breeze going all the way around to stop it being captured.
Yeah, it was actually a very smart mosh pit on the side of Breeze. At first, if you look at it, you really think, well, he didn't really do anything. There was no follow-up damage, but he prevented Kel'Thas from moving in and securing the kill against his teammate. So with that, they were able to wait for the hook of a Thero Angel and start that triple kill that they now ended up with. So a very smart move. We had zoning for Zagara happening, Breeze in the backline, isolating Kel'Thas, making sure that he could not drop anything to finish the heroes off. And from that point on, they could secure the tribute, they could get a triple kill, and now we have them with a 3-level advantage and extra talent over their opponents. Running the prowl, as already predicted earlier on Greymane, so Worgen form now with the increased movement speed. It's an amazing hero if you want to chase somebody down.
Yeah, and ETC running that face melt, that 80% slow, gonna leave, let Greymane have even more chase potential, which they're currently using on Krolu. He gets taken out. The Phoenix coming in, a Pharaoh trapped in the Entomb here, but he's got his bile down, so Gluehammer taking a lot of damage through this, but a Pharaoh saved by the palm here. Quacknix from the side takes down Drew, and down goes Falstad as well. And that Worgen annihilating the side of Euronics in it.
Yeah, really well played. And I learned something new in that last fight as well. I did not know that a Mighty Gust would push a healing ward away.
I didn't even see that. It's
yes.
really cool.
Like, it was actually very smart what we saw here. When Stitches was locked down, the first thing that Smexy did, he immediately dropped the healing ward behind the Entomb so that nobody could get close to it and that it would heal Stitches so that he wouldn't die. And then Falstad uses Mighty Gust and it blows the healing ward away. I had no idea that he could do that.
Yeah, that's really cool to know. It doesn't do any damage, so it doesn't kill it. So yeah, that's really cool to see. For now though, Fnatic able to take the boss in the bottom lane. That's going to put a lot of pressure. Fort already dead in every lane, so there's nothing that Euronics can do to protect about this. So they have to just roll down and defend against it because they can't afford that damage in the bottom lane.
Yeah, look at the damage in total that we have here for Greymane. 37,000. That's 17,000 more than Kel'Thas has. That's more than double what we're seeing on also Falstad. Great play here once again by Quacknix, and of course his team is allowing him to really put that hero into position every single team fight. It's just absolutely amazing what they can do with it. Boss at the top lane is about to be taken. At the bottom lane, on the other hand, we see a full defense against the one that is pushing it, even with the help of the 2 Siege Giants here. Of course, Leoric couldn't really do anything up at the top. He could just watch and try to zone them out, but of course, Fnatic not falling for that. They nearly have level 16. They're going up against the level 13 talent, and now they're going to attempt to push this with the boss at the top lane. They are dominating this series.
Yeah, they're looking so strong right now. Pushing in to these tier 2s, this time with the boss. They're going to protect it. They don't have level 16 yet, but they're going to have it. And that will put them even stronger with a talent advantage. The Entomb, though, very good. Mighty Gust to try and disengage everyone else here. Svex dashing to Quacknix to get back to his team and heals Breeze, keep him alive. In comes the mosh pit, and everyone is dead. It's Massacre. Down goes the keep. The boss still on half health, and that was great by Breeze.
What a move. The Divine Palm keeping him alive on top of all of it. 44,000 damage now on Greymane. The talents here taken, of course, on level 16 as well. As predicted, it is the concentrated blast. What a game by Fnatic. A 2-0 victory against Euronics, and Greymane securing the kill here for them with that amazing mosh pit of Breeze in the final fight. GG, well played, and Fnatic moves on to the next round of the Spring Championship Qualifier. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is GG and the end of another series here on Color TV with Heroes of the Storm. So once again, we have another video finished, and I hope that you enjoyed the commentary and that you liked the game, of course, as well. It was a pleasure casting the match for you. And if you guys really enjoyed it, then make sure that you give that video a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to do that too. If you have friends that are interested in Heroes of the Sports esports scene, then definitely recommend the channel to them, or just show them the video if they want to see like a bit how the pros are drafting here, especially of course when it comes to the North American scene, European scene. And I mean, these days we even have a couple of Chinese games on the channel here, so I hope that you enjoy that as well. That being said, thank you very much for watching again. I'm going to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm content here on the channel. Have a great day and enjoy your week, and see you soon. Bye bye.